What's up, everyone? This is your boy Mastermind here with Ohio Cannabis Live, and I just want to let you know that I had to have a procedure, and that's why I'm not doing my normal live stream. But I still wanted to give you a show, and it looks like my dog's gonna come in here and join me. You gonna come in here on the live show? Like I ask you all the time, what you medicating on today? And today's show is gonna be a couple different segments. I'd like to say the first thing I want to talk about is purchasing old products. So, what you should do is if you want fresh products, you should definitely start contacting your dispensary and asking them about your order before you arrive. So, if you place an online order, you should definitely be contacting them and saying, hey, how old is that stuff? Especially if it's amazing price. You should always want to know how old is this stuff. Some stuff it's okay, other things it's not. So definitely start asking questions. Don't be in such a hurry. Another thing you should also do is check the math on your receipt to make sure it adds up correctly. Make sure they got the right sales tax. Make sure they got the right discount. Why'd you do that? She just literally just moved the camera out of the way. So, that's something that's really something we got to work on. And what I want to know from you is, are you okay buying old product? Some people don't care. Some people don't think about the expiration date. Others, we care. We definitely care. And, this is something that has come up. A lot of new dispensaries are opening up, and they're selling old product. And they're selling it really cheap. And, some people don't mind that. It's not a big deal. Other people, they care about it. So, I definitely want to know how you feel about buying old products. So make sure you leave your feedback in the comments, regardless of which platform you watch this on. Make sure you leave feedback and let me know how you feel about purchasing old products. Now, the next thing we're going to move on to is Ohio Senate Bill 9. There is a lot of controversy going on about Ohio Senate Bill 9. Here's what you need to know about Ohio Senate Bill 9. Ohio Senate Bill 9 would basically expand qualified conditions. It would add opiate use disorder and autism, among a few other things, for qualified conditions. It would allow standalone processors to receive a cultivation license. So like some companies that don't have their own cultivation license would be able to now do that. So that's something. And also it would allow for people from out of state to be able to get a temporary card and be able to use products within our program legally. So, one thing is the opposition believes that adding more licenses for cultivation will cause more saturation in the market. They're already saying they've got a bunch of material they can't get rid of, or it hasn't been sold. And, what I want to know from you is, how do you feel about this? Do you think it's important for more qualifying conditions, for more processors to be able to grow and cultivate their own products, their own flower materials? This would allow them to have some products that are kind of like full spectrum. But at the end of the day, we do have a lot of cultivators and a lot of processors right now. So I see the opposition's point, but at the same time, our program desperately needs some reform. We are going to move towards a recreational market, but we still have to keep the medical program going. And in the future, the medical program is going to be how we save on our taxes on our meds. So keep that in mind. Yeah, we want home grow and everything else, but when adult comes here, they're going to add some high tax to it. Also, the legislators in the House to try to put forth a bill to also legalize cannabis, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere, so it's not worth us putting a lot of time onto it right now, unless one of the sponsors of that bill would like to come on our show and kind of break it down and give us a synopsis of what's in that bill and why we should support it. The main thing you need to know is that there's a petition going around, and that's going to be for the Regulate Marijuana Like Alcohol campaign. And that's the one we're trying to get on the ballot for November. So that's the one you want to pay attention to if you're interested in rec. But if you're interested in, some reforms to the program, the medical program, you should start doing your research on Senate Bill 9. I would love to know in the comments whether you are for or against Senate Bill 9. And if you are for it, I want to know why. And if you're against it, I want to know why. And if you're still new to my content, this is one of your first times watching the content, do me a huge favor and smash that like button, smash the subscribe button. And if you're watching this on a different platform, make sure you follow me on that platform. And don't forget to check out my website, OhioCannabisLive.com. And also don't forget, you can now donate directly to us at www.OhioCannabisLive.com/donate. And if you don't want to donate, we do have some great deals on some of our merchandise right now, and we're offering free shipping. So, the next thing that I want to kind of jump onto is events. We need to come up with some fun events that we can all have together in different cities. So what I want to know is who's going to be in charge of the Cleveland events, who's going to be in charge of Dayton events, who's going to be in charge of Toledo events. I need somebody to do some stuff in Lima. We need some coordination amongst people who live in these areas. I cannot coordinate events in areas I don't live in by myself. I can't host these events all by myself. I'm going to need people who live in these areas to be able to help me, or I'm not going to be able to do it. So if you want some events that's going to be open for patients and giveaways like we did before, and more free recommendations and all that kind of stuff, I am going to need you to help me. That means finding venues. That means finding places where the food's going to come from, helping me get the word out, sharing the links, and ultimately, and making sure people show up. I can't get people to sponsor the events if people don't show up. So we have to make events that people want to come to, and it had to be fun. I mean, the block party turned out great. If you haven't seen that video, please go ahead and watch that video so you can see how the block party was. It was really great. So we could do something similar to that. This was a different theme. Obviously, that was the 420 block party, so we could have some other kind of party at a park, or we could do a game night. We could do movie nights. We could do a dinner party. We could do anything you want to try to do. We can do it as long as we have a plan that makes sense and we can explain how much it's going to cost and come up with the money. We can do it. So that's something I want you to all to keep in mind. And again, I'm looking for your feedback in the comments. The main theme of the videos now is feedback. You have to give me feedback so we know which direction we're going in. We've got a lot of people that we can now access and help us to make progress. But they're not getting the feedback. I'm not getting the feedback. It's kind of hard for me to tell the people where you all stand if you don't give me feedback on these issues that we're dealing with. Another thing I want to know, and this is something I think needs to be addressed, is how do you feel about processors using flower or trim or shake that has basically failed testing for mold, and they're basically using these products. They're using these flower products and processing them, and when they process them, that takes the mold away and it's no longer moldy and it passed testing. But at the end of the day, how do you feel about companies, not just in Ohio but nationwide, using products that were at one point in their life moldy, and then they're just basically remediating these products to where they're not moldy? And it's definitely happening for sure, is that companies are using failed products, failed trim and shake, and remediating it to use it to make edibles. This is something that's been going on since before our program ever began. So it's not some new practice. It's not something that only Ohio is doing. Michigan is doing it too. And the last part I want to segue into today is this stuff that supposedly happened in Michigan in February, where they said that some company there, I won't name the company because, sometimes these things are rumors. I don't live in Michigan, so I can't say that I have all the information. But they're saying that there's a source of illicit oil that was being passed around to different processors at some kind of dirt cheap price, which allowed for a lot of cheap products to be sold. And a lot of them products was pretty much targeted to the Ohio market. So their idea was, to process a bunch of stuff dirt cheap and then sell it out, because, the Michigan market ain't what it used to be. A lot of people don't want to hear it, don't want to admit to it, but if you go up there, you already know what it is. If you're a true connoisseur and you've been going up to Michigan Reeks on you, you're well aware of the situation they're in up there. So, I'm going to leave it at that. But those who go there know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's just keep it 100%. And I think that, as we go on further towards rec, we'll have a lot more conversations about not just Michigan, but we're going to start having conversations about Kentucky. Those folks from Kentucky are certainly going to be trying to figure out how they can come here and get stuff from our program and bring it back home. And if they figure it out, that's great for them, but we should be able to do the same thing in Michigan, Kentucky. So the reciprocity has to happen. And if it's in the form of giving people temporary cards, that's fine. But I'm going to take a break and I'll be right back here with you in just a second. All right, I'm back there. Sometimes, you got to stop, take a break. Phone was ringing. So, what I want to wrap today's show talking about is just, reminding people that if we're going to get recreational done, you've got to make sure your voter registration is current. Make sure you're registered to vote. If you see the petition going around, make sure you sign it. It's important that we learn how to be a part of the rulemaking and lawmaking process. I think that, there's never really any good education about how to participate and how these rules are being made, is how these laws are being written, how these amendments come up. And I think that's what we need to learn as a cannabis community. We need to learn how to draft these pieces of legislation to improve and reform our programs, whether it's the medical program or what will hopefully eventually be our adult program. We need to be able to speak for ourselves in a unified way that allows the lawmakers to know that we do have a say-so. Because right now I feel like, all these different pieces of legislation, I don't feel like we have a fair say-so in how these things are materializing. I feel like we're just along for the ride. And some people might be okay with that, but me personally, I feel like we should have a direct say-so in how these programs are being ran and run, where this money is going, where's our tax dollars being spent, because we are spending tax dollars on these products. And I think that it's important that we start advocating in a unified way. We can't let the industry people just say they're advocating for us and we never have our own say-so. Ain't that right, Miracle? Better tell them. Tell them, doggy. So yeah, that's the thing. So as I always like to ask everybody, yeah, my video got cut off there, but I just want to know, before I wrap up today's show, is what are you planning on having for dinner today? And again, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe button. Don't forget to check out the website, OhioCannabisLive.com. And don't forget you can support us now by visiting OhioCannabisLive.com/donate. Or you can still do a super chat or a thanks if you're watching this on the replay. We also have Patreon as well. So there's multiple ways you can support the channel to keep it going. Every little bit counts. Even if you can only support with $1, that $1 goes a long way. It seems really silly, but like I said, every little bit counts when we're just working to build this community up, to make sure we can have more access to affordable products, and to make sure that we're getting quality products, and that we can eventually be able to grow. Last thing I want to say is the update about my hand. It's definitely better. I can now make a fist again. So I'm still going to therapy. I have 3 more therapies to go, and I'll be done with that. And then I've got a knot in my elbow, and they're going to cut that out. You can probably see it a little bit. Yeah, that guy. It's not supposed to be there. So I had to get that cut out, and that's going to be like in 2 months. So yeah, another surgery. That'll be 2 surgeries at least this year that I know of, and maybe another one. But I don't know that yet. So hopefully, everything is going okay with the procedure. Obviously, I'll be sedated or asleep during the procedure that they're doing. Like I said, hopefully everything will be going great. Keep an eye out for some new videos I got coming out. I'm still trying to work on changing things up, changing the scenery, the background, the style. All those things are going to start to change as it gets closer to my graduation. By the way, I graduate from the Ohio Mia School on July the 10th. So make sure you keep an eye out for the announcements about whatever celebrations I'm going to have. And also, we're on our way to 400,000 views. So we'll be celebrating. By the time we get done celebrating 300,000, we'll be at 400,000. So let's keep breaking those records. Let's keep breaking the YouTube algorithm. I appreciate everything you guys are doing and ladies are doing. And I'll see all of you on the next video. Peace.